Okay, so I'm disabling the waiting room so that they'll just automatically come in. I think we have like 2 minutes.
So we have to.
And I'm gonna be awkwardly standing here with a goblet.
Like,
No one will
do you
be
want
able
a
to.
chair?
No, because I think it'll be fine. Because then, if while you're talking about this stuff, I can see you around.
Might be able to hear us.
I think you'll be able to.
Yes. Hey, Mike, we're going to start in about a minute, so you guys will have to go. Let's go. We're going to start this in about a minute, so you guys will have to go somewhere else. Oh, Becky. Hi, Becky.
Oh yeah.
It's 6 o'clock.
Hello, everybody. We'll probably have more people come in, and I just want to invite you in and welcome everybody to tonight's Zoom with Suzi Davidoff. and her exhibition, The Vanishing Avians. So we're going to make this a fast Zoom, a quick Zoom, but we can go around and show you the work, because I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it online. We'll be doing that, but mostly I just want to talk to Suzi, and I would love for you all to have a chance to ask Suzi questions that you might not have had a chance to do before. We have a few more people coming online, so thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
We were just talking about it, and Kathy and I worked together for about probably
How long? Yeah.
maybe 15 years, but we don't ever really, because we're always so busy when we're working together, we never really have that much of a chance to just sit down and talk about studio practices and kind of what we do before we get together to work.
That's right. And I've had a chance to visit with Suzi's come to Suzi's studio, so I see what's going on there. But this last group of works that she's brought, I'm really curious about. They all started during the time of COVID. Is that right?
They did, yeah. They're starting probably. All the work in the show is between April and May.
Right, and so that's a hard time to work. I mean, you weren't able to really get out so much, except you had a resource of being able to go up into the mountains.
Yeah, I did. I spent a lot of time in the Davis Mountains. But even when I was there, I had the feeling that I was more interested in creating kind of a cycle of hikes, of repeating the same walks every day and seeing what new things I could see and experience during that same walk. Not exactly sure why I chose that, but it just maybe the familiarity of going on the same path every day sounded like something that would be a good thing for my head for that time.
And so part of the show that's here are what happened during the time that you were working with the information you were getting from the walks. And then about 2 months, I guess, or 3 months into the COVID time, maybe it was June or July, Suzi came to Flatbed, and we worked together and collaborated to do a body of monotypes that really the show got the title from, because the monotypes are based on birds that are endangered, so they're vanishing.
Yeah, and of course on my walks, I had been seeing, as well as observing plants, because most of the drawings are of plants, but I was also observing birds and animals that I was seeing. And because of a project from a couple of years ago, I got interested in endangered birds, and specifically in endangered birds around my area, and started doing some research about the riparian areas, which are kind of the wet areas of the desert Southwest. They're almost like ribbons of green run through the whole desert, all the way from, El Paso, Arizona, New Mexico, California. And those areas are, the birds and animals in those areas are losing habitat so fast that sadly there were tons of species of birds to choose from as birds that were endangered. So I started with 4 different species of birds, and those were the basis. All I did usually when I come to print, I just bring a tiny bit of material and sort of see what happens from there. And for this, I brought just a bunch of stencils of these birds, and that was all. I had no idea what was going to happen after that.
It was, so did you have an idea about color when you came, or any of those kinds of things?
I had no idea about color. I had no idea. I knew something about scale. I knew that I wanted the birds to be layered in some sort of way that created some space. But beyond that, I really didn't have a lot of definite idea. I know that the birds were drawn not necessarily to scale, so there might be a small hawk and a giant hawk and a giant cuckoo. So the birds weren't drawn according to their size. And I knew that I wanted to layer them all together, but I didn't want to have a specific print about each species.
Oh,
That's
okay.
about all I knew.
Well, I know that when you were working here, we experimented a lot with these. We haven't worked with. I don't believe we'd ever worked with stencils before.
I don't think so. No.
And so the idea of using stencils under and over, and ink stencils and negative space stencils was kind of new too. So
yeah, it was definitely new to me. I don't even know if I had ever done it, and I honestly can't tell you what made me think of that as a way to handle that. But I think I knew I didn't want to be trying to draw each bird for each of the monotypes. So,
well, how does working in the studio in collaboration, the way that you do, how would you contrast it to how you work alone in your studio?
Well, I work alone. There's a lot of similarities in terms of things not being completely set before I start something like some of the big drawings that are here. So I don't have a specific maybe compositional plan. Usually I do have a plan of, if I'm drawing a certain kind of a plant or something, I have a plan of what plant I'm drawing. That's about as far as it goes. So there's similarities in that. There's similarities in that I'm working with layers, and that the drawings almost develop organically with the layering. So it's not something where I start with an outline and then fill in certain areas or something like that. So those are similarities I see. Some differences I see are that when I'm working, especially because with the monotypes, we're working more with color, which is always, it's an area that I've worked with off and on for years, and I love it. They're more improvisational, because sometimes they can go kind of in different directions, and I'm not quite sure where they're going. Each layer and each piece that's on the plate or on a print after it's been printed a few times suggests and calls for the next layer.
Okay.
I think the drawings do that a little bit, but I think especially when I'm working on the prints. And also I'm lucky enough to work here and have this series I worked with you, and also with Alex, who's an amazing printer. And so you're working with other people who are suggesting things, and because I think part of the process is so collaborative that I like the idea of saying, what am I going to do next? Do you guys have any idea for this? Because I want it to be something or this or that, and incorporating those ideas and that energy from other people. So.
Well, I think that's why our collaboration works so well. Is you ask for that, and you willingly take some advice, although it's really a group effort to kind of figure out a problem, just get it to a finished point. But definitely you allow it.
Well, it's to me, I get as it feels more like improvisational jazz or something like that, where there are other voices added into it, help create it. So.
Well, I loved seeing when we got the work in, and I'm hoping we can, in a little bit, we can kind of spin around and show you what's here. When I got it in, of course, I was familiar with the monotypes, but I wasn't familiar with the drawings. And so they worked together so well. It felt like they were done. I mean, they're not the same subject matter, but they work together. And you and I were talking about, I guess it might have something to do with the times with this is the year, the COVID year.
Maybe so. And also the thing that was so exciting for me to see the work together, because I never saw it together in the same space until I got here today, is that I feel like the echoes of almost all of the bird prints have echoes of the natural world in terms of the plants. And they run through those into the drawings, and so it feels like there's this linear quality going around through all of them, so it connects them to me in a really nice way.
I like that. I I love that. I don't know if you all can probably see these drawings behind us, but Suzi, I wanted to ask you to talk about the walks. Are they? It's called the walk series.
Yeah, it's called mini. Mini walks on the same path.
Okay. Yeah.
So I did a series of walks for 14 days, every day, not time specific necessarily, but on kind of a long loop. And I was interested in just this repetition of the walk, and also looking at a different form every day and sort of focusing on a different form in the drawings every day. It worked. I only had 7 pieces of this small paper, so I did 7 of these, and then right after that, kind of out of nowhere, these incredible penstemon bloomed. So I did 2 big drawings for the rest of the series.
The
so
penstemons are the large.
The penstemon are the 2 big drawings.
The
Yeah.
big drawings. We'll spin around so you can see it. And I want to promise you all we won't be here long. So I want to make sure that we have a chance to take questions from everyone. That'd be great. And we're back. So that's a quick tour. But on the website, I have a virtual room that you can go to that has each of the pieces in it. So you might want to look there as well. So I'd love to open it up. I think you all probably have questions that you would like to talk about or like to ask Suzi. And I'd love to say hello to everybody there. I see so many familiar faces.
Me too.
Yeah. How do we do that, Alex? So we just, thank you all. How do we
They
get?
should all be unmuted now.
Okay, you're all unmuted now. So you can turn off the rock music. And, any questions or comments out there? Any questions for Suzi?
You know, I just want to say that I have seen all of the prints and all of the drawings in person. They're just fabulous. They really are. And the prints are truly amazing. And I really hope that some of the rest of you are able to visit the exhibition in person, because I was just stunned when Suzi brought back the new prints, this new collection.
So I think I had to ship them out in a couple of days. Michelle, you got to come over today. Yeah, so I was really happy with it.
Yeah, they're just great.
Hi there. Do we have another question or comment? Or do people raise hands? Is that okay?
They have to unmute themselves.
Here, I got unmuted. Hi.
Hi, Becky.
What a pleasure to see you all, and look what I have. I wish I could be there with you, but the exhibition looks gorgeous. Really would, and we'll plan when my courage increases a little bit. Maybe I won't watch the national news for a day or two and get my courage up and come make a plan. But the show looks beautiful, and it's really lovely to see all of you all on Zoom. Zoom has become my good friend lately. So nice to see you all.
So nice to see you.
I would love to see the show in person and see the way the birds interact with the prints of the botanicals and the walk. It feels also I don't know, just that quick little tour there. It seems so fresh and kind of alive, and even more observant than I mean, your work is always really sensitive to what you're looking at, but this seems so fresh. So there's a freshness about it that's different than some of the others. And I have a question about it. So when you're working on the bird pieces, well, I mean, I know you've done that for a bit before. Are you thinking about their habitat while you're thinking about them? I know that they're, you know, the way that you use them in the work, they fit, like the scale makes me really respond to, are they close? Are they far? Are they in flocks? Are we watching them? Are we counting them? Are we, you know, concerned about their existence? And just wondering, like, so, but they're in this environment that you're looking at. I was just wondering if you think about them in relationship to that with the botanicals or the plants, or like, how is it for you?
First, when I started,
No, we can't hear you. I can't. Can you all hear?
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
hear you. Everybody hear us?
No.
Oh, she's,
We can't hear you.
we'll turn ourselves on.
Just look at your audio settings.
Okay,
it's not muted. We're showing it. How about now?
okay, can you hear us now?
Is that better?
Can you hear us? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, okay. When I first started working with the birds, and my beginning idea, you know, when I came down with my stencils, was I wasn't even sure whether or not that I would be dealing too much with plants and with habitat in the drawings or within the prints, but I would say all of them have. I did, yes. It seemed like only natural, because the main reason that the birds are threatened and endangered right now in all of these is because their riparian habitat is being diminished. And so it seemed like it just sort of happened. And so, yeah, every single one of the monotypes, the reason that they have the platforms is to connect them to the habitat of the birds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was.
Should we walk around and look?
Yeah, let's go around one more time. And, you know, the one that I love this one right here with the habitat.
The reflection is crazy.
Is the reflection too bad?
These are, yeah.
The reflection might be too bad on these. Let's see.
It is kind of.
So it's kind of bad, yeah.
That's okay.
No, they're beautiful. We can see them. They're
Okay, great. Good. You can see the plant forms that are there, and the botanical forms are specific to the riparian areas of the Southwest, and that's where all these birds are from. So yeah, it was definitely connected.
Susie, there's just such a tranquility in the feeling I get from your work. I mean, there's a lot of power, but it's so tranquil. And I just find looking at your work is calming. It's almost meditative for me. And it's a really rich, kind of powerful feeling that I get when I look at your art. And
it's like, you know, for me, that feeling that I get when I'm outside is like that. So I hope it comes through in the work.
Thank you, Mr. Brock.
So one thing that was fun, we had a lot of fun making all this work, of course, and all the birds began to get personalities. All of these little bird stencils, and so we had a lot of fun with that because each bird would sort of take on this personality, which changed from piece to piece, but that was one part of it that I really liked.
Some of them wanted to be used more often.
Yeah, some of them became stars.
Yes, they did. Now, to me, the drawings are just stunning, and of course, I don't spend as much time. So I know the prints better than the drawings, but I love. Tell me, where does all this color come from that's here?
All the color, all of the gold and brown colors are earth pigments that I picked up on the walks, and then that were rubbed into the surface of the paper. The red is cochineal. And there was cochineal on the walks, although this is cochineal that comes from Mexico, and it's purer than the cochineal that you would get directly off of the prickly pear. So I like it better because it's darker.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm gathering up all this earth and plant materials as I'm walking, and then using it as a ground for the paper.
Does it take weeks or days to get a drawing like this to the point of feeling finished? I mean, it seems like there's so many layers.
Yeah, it does. It takes usually. I mean, it depends on if it's because many times I work on a lot of things at once. So if I'm working on like these two big drawings at once, it'll take a couple of weeks to feel like they're finished. And they worked in concert with each other. They were next to each other on the wall in the studio. And so I was working on them together, but then one of them would go a different direction or get more finished, and then the other one I had to see where it was going.
Well, they seem to kind of arrive at the same kind of finished.
Yeah, they arrived at the same kind of, they did arrive at the same kind of finished point. But a lot of times I'll have a whole section that I end up erasing out, like taking out. So for me, erasing and getting rid of stuff is just as much a part of the process as drawing.
You know, it's really beautiful. It's always in your drawings, but I like looking at these especially, and I don't know whether it's because, you know, we have this mediated experience of a screen or whatever, but I'm just like looking at there's like they're all the penstemons, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you have like the skeleton and then the skin and then kind of the spirit of this plant all in one kind of, they kind of respond kind of back and forth with each other. So there's like so many different views of the same thing.
Oh, that's really nice. I like that idea.
Yeah, that's excellent. Well, we've kind of reached the end of it.
I think, yeah. If nobody else has questions, thanks so much, you guys, for being here. It's such an odd way to have an opening, but it's actually really nice. I'm glad we can still do it.
Me too. We have had people coming in just by appointment, and for this afternoon, that's been fun. And now it's really fun to see everybody here too. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Congratulations.
That's great, Susie.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Nice
Thanks.
to see everyone.
Thanks,
Hi,
Susie.
Michelle. Hi, Becky. Hi, Pi. Hi, Becky.
Great to see you.
Great.
Did you see Phyllis?
Yeah, she was there. Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's great to see you all.
And Edmund, hi. You're there too.
Hello.
So
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see you.
Hi, Susie, Kat.
fabulous. It's so great to see everyone.
Great to see you all. Wow.
Oh. Thank you, Catherine, for
Gary,
organizing this.
is Claire there, Gary? Right, the Freemans, they live out. They live
Nice.
out where your ranch is. Yeah. Hello there, Gary. Well, okay,
This
until
is
next
really nice. We
time.
wanted to make it short and sweet, so it wasn't a 2-hour Zoom opening.
We're all getting a little Zoom time.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
Thank you. That was so nice.
thanks for
I
coming.
want to be in Texas.
Thank you.
Come on down.
You want to be in Texas, or you don't want to be in Texas?
I do, of course.
We'd love to have you here, yeah.
All right. Have a great evening. Bye, everybody.
Y'all too.
Good
Bye-bye.
night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Bye, guys.